opportunity hasn't swung open more widely is because it's the same 3 or 4 people given the same opportunities with the same 3 or 4 oppositions to have to overcome. Daniel Bryan overcoming the Authority last year, that's the biggest example I can give to you. Everybody knew he was going to rise above the Authority. Everybody knew that Stone Cold Steve Austin, the same way back in the Attitude Era, was going to rise above Vince McMahon and the corporation. He did it, just as Daniel Bryan rose above the Authority all these years later. And it was because Stone Cold Steve Austin made it possible for Daniel Bryan to do that all those years ago in the Attitude Era, in the war with World Championship Wrestling, because WCW and Sting were providing too much of an opposition for WWE to have to override. And Vince McMahon and Stone Cold Steve Austin in that rivalry went all out to obtain supremacy in the professional wrestling business, which they did, making it possible for stupid stuff like this to happen. And I really believe that if Stone Cold Steve Austin would have known 10 years ago that the business was going to amount to this, and people like John Cena were going to be on top, he would have never signed a deal with WWE for as long as what he did to feud with Vince McMahon. He would have had the purpose completely defeated. He would have known the purpose was going to be defeated, and he would have defeated the purpose himself of ever having done everything that he did. The same thing applies for Hulk Hogan. I think if he would have known what the business was going to amount to, and people like The Undertaker would have known what the business was going to amount to, nothing that ever happened in the past would have ever happened. And we'd probably be watching Monday Night Nitro now. And I said that. And the reason why we'd probably be watching Monday Night Nitro is because people like John Cena would have been the ones that everybody would have known that was going to go to the top of the business. And that's the reason why, because people would have gave WCW the ratings because they would have wanted a promotion that had prided themselves on good wrestling, a good wrestling product for all those years to emerge victorious. Because nobody knew what was going to happen, because everybody was oblivious to it. This is what we're faced with now, an era that's all about hustle, loyalty, and respect that doesn't seem to want to come to an end, but is going to have to come to an end if anything is ever going to be done productively in this business. And you may say that I'm full of shit for saying everything that I've said about John Cena over these last 2 years. But the thing is, as long as John Cena remains with this business and in the position that he is in and remains to be in, nothing productively is going to be done with this business. And that is the unfortunate thing, but it is also, from the same aspect, it is also the thing that is the fact about this business. It's the same stupid stuff all the time, and that's why the ratings are seeing that decline all the time. That's why we're seeing so many critical columns being written by reviewers of professional wrestling and the MMA world, because it's the same thing. No matter what professional fighting sport you look at, it's the same thing over and over and over again. It's the same adequate concepts with no correction, with no correcting of any issues that arise. And then people say that we have no clue when it comes to political issues in professional wrestling. We only just assume what's going on politically with professional wrestling. But what's going on politically with professional wrestling from a political standpoint and a political point of view is professional wrestling is just amounting to the heights of bullshit. There's nothing being done in comparison to what was being done back in the 90s and 80s. There's absolutely nothing being done creatively, and there's nothing interesting happening to make us watch the product. Wrestling is just losing the respect that it worked so hard to achieve for all these years. Once people found out the product was fake and it had been exposed because of a number of wrestling documentaries that were produced back in the 90s, I saw every single one of them. Once wrestling was exposed, professional wrestling had to work harder to earn the respect that it did for being a sport that was allegedly staged. And they got that respect back, but they are losing that respect they worked so hard to attain because the same stuff is happening all the time, and it's looked at more from a theatrical standpoint than it ever has been for being a professional sport. And I don't think wrestling can be categorized anymore in the same category as the NBA or the NHL or the NFL or NASCAR anymore as a professional sport, because these sports are legitimate compared to professional wrestling. All professional wrestling has ever been is a soap opera that is made to be believable by so many fans who are die-hard. They'll get the ratings from the die-hard fans out there because they'll never give up on the product. They'll always believe that people like Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock are going to come back. They're going to wrestle like they did back in the 90s. But the reality is wrestlers aren't superheroes. I said this about Daniel Bryan's injury when I wrote the column earlier today and posted it on our website. There was a time when you looked at wrestlers as superheroes and people who were indestructible, people who couldn't die. And now we have gone from that era, that cartoon era of Hulk Hogan and The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Undertaker, the indestructible forces, the undiable characters, to people who are breaking down and disappearing and vanishing all the time because of being overworked. And why are they being overworked? And why are they having so many injuries and being forced to retire? Why don't we see people like Edge and Shawn Michaels anymore? Because they are overworked, because they are being overshadowed by people like John Cena all the time. If John Cena wants a reason to quit the professional wrestling business and never come back ever again, his reason is he is overshadowing so many people and killing their buzz, killing their opportunities, killing their hype, killing the reason for financing them all those years ago and giving them a chance from the developmental camps into the WWE, going to NXT, whatever the case may have been. If he's looking for a reason to quit, this is the reason. The door of opportunity isn't swinging open as widely as what I wanted to swing open and many others wanted to swing open. And I think I am speaking for everybody when I say that if there ever was a time for John Cena to quit, contemplate quitting the professional wrestling business, that time is now. His time is up because he sucks now. That is the headline we are using on our YouTube channel at Jonathan Clarke 22, because that headline is how I believe it's going for John Cena. His time is up now because he sucks. And it's time for John Cena to go. If there ever was a time for John Cena to go, that time is now. It's not tomorrow. It's not 3 weeks from now. It's not 6 months from now. It's not 2 or 3 years from now. It's not a decade from now. That time is now. Something has to be done. This is an issue that has been consistently overshadowed, like everything else in professional wrestling. This issue more so than others. They have a consistent habit of trying to kayfabe, as they say in the business, what's wrong with it. I have said for months, especially in the fall of WrestleMania 31, that what's wrong with the business is Triple H, how he believes he's this almighty executive who can never be touched. He's the untouchable of the untouchable. He's the reason what's wrong with this business, and what's also wrong with this business is people like Vince McMahon and Triple H, these corporate jackasses, believe way too much in people like John Cena. They have an unbelievable amount of faith in what people do not want to see, because they know if it was up to fans, the reason why they don't listen to fans is because they know if it was up to fans, people like John Cena would never be given the benefit of the doubt. Only the diehard fans within power would give John Cena the benefit of the doubt. Nobody would give people like John Cena the benefit of the doubt. People like Seth Rollins would probably get 1 or 2 opportunities and then be put in that position by someone like The Undertaker and Sting, because they'd be the ones dominating all the time. We'd see more legends than what we do. They don't listen to fans, because if they listen to fans, the people who are making them the money wouldn't be on top all the time. That's the reality of it. That's why we as wrestling fans suck in their eyes and never will be given the respect that we deserve, because we deserve more respect than what we are ever given when it comes to professional wrestling, because we know more about politics than we're ever going to be given credit for. That's the thing. That's why we are always overshadowed, and we always are beaten out by the upper executive jackasses on the board in WWE who believe in the John Cenas and Randy Ortons, and they believe in them way too much. And as I said here earlier, if there ever was a time for John Cena to go, that time is now. That's why I'm asking for your opinion on this. You may not agree with me. You may agree with me while others agree with me. But I want your opinion on John Cena leaving the business, and if you think that is what is best for it and you think only probable things can come from it, whether you agree or disagree for me, that's why we have a comment section in this YouTube channel. That's why we have a Twitter, so you can tweet us at Jonathan Clarke 1, and that's why we have a Facebook page at HEW Entertainment, because we want your opinion on issues such as this. This is one of the biggest issues ever in professional wrestling that is going without correction. I think something needs to be done with it. It is definitely a critical issue. It's one of the more major issues that is being overshadowed. Nothing is being done to correct it. No stars are being created. Too many people are suffering, and have suffered long enough because of people like John Cena. That's why I believe his time is up, because he sucks now, and something has to be done with him. Never have been the biggest John Cena supporter or fan, and I can't say I ever will be, because of everything that's happened and everything that the business has amounted to, unfortunately, because of one man and one man only, and his name is John Cena. You may have heard of him. God knows you have. Whether or not you agree with everything he's done, that's up to you. That's your choice to either side or to go against John Cena, but I hope more people are going against him than they're choosing to side with him. I really appreciate diversity. That's why you should never take anything out of context that I've said. My opinion of John Cena sucking is just my opinion. It may not be the opinion of you. That's why at the start of the show we have the professional warning about how some opinions on this show may offend some of the subscribers we have to the show. But my opinion of John Cena being shit is just my opinion, and I just throw it out there because I want my opinion and my voice to be heard about who's representing the business, because this is not necessarily who should be representing the business, because we have a far more impressive, diverse talent roster that is never being given the benefit of the doubt. If ever diversity was at its highest point in professional wrestling, it is in 2015. We have an incredible amount of diversity to look at in the professional wrestling business. An incredible opportunistic time in professional wrestling, but the opportunistic time is not getting underway with, is not being able to be kicked off with, because people like John Cena are always here and never go away. How many times is John Cena out with a major injury or given time off? Never. Look at how many times we've seen John Cena go away. He may have been gone 3 or 4 months, and he comes back quicker from a neck injury or a back injury, quicker than some of the best, quicker than the Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold Steve Austin ever had. That's because he's rushed back, because WWE realized he's their cash cow. If we had a more reliable cash cow in the way of a Daniel Bryan and focused on making him into a celebrity or a superstar, then we wouldn't have to rely on John Cena. But again, John Cena is always the reason why people are always being overshadowed. And that's why, and this is the biggest reason why John Cena sucks and why John Cena needs to go. I've wanted Triple H and John Cena gone for quite some time. Nothing has ever been done about it to correct it, and I think the time is now to get past this issue and move on with something more productive and more profitable in professional wrestling. It may be a long shot to say it, but we need to get to a point of reprieve, and until we get there, nothing probable or nothing promising is ever going to arise in professional wrestling, and that really is unfortunate. I've got Iggy Azalea and Black Widow for you now, and I will see you next week.
Like what you hear? Tell us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.